Hey everyone, welcome to part number 3, oh, that's funny, part number, of Fixture Fridays in this ever-going saga of getting these 2 pallets set up. So in this video, Aaron's editing it right now. I'm not sure what's in this video.
Oh geez, well done. So what's in this video is John does a lot of trial and error and error and error and error when he's trying to get the second fixture working in the mill so that he can make more parts and be more efficient with that and make more parts every single night. So you're going to see the problems that he encounters and then the solution that he gets to solve those, and then also a little treat at the end about how we make our parts so consistent. Enjoy!
Check it out. Aaron, hiding behind the camera, just asked a really good question. Is the logic in there to run 4 pallets, because that's the eventual goal? And yes, it is. Right now I have a hard limit after 2 because there's stuff in the way. I'm not putting 4 pallets on right now. But all the logic is in the code to run 4. I just have to delete one little line of code that says skip to the end of this. So the goal will be, I gotta move the blue vac magic, which we use to cut our foam, and a few other random little things. I gotta move the Pearson pallet up. So the 2 new orange vices we got are gonna go right here and right here. And these I gotta figure out how to mount on top of 2 orange bases. So it'll require making like a little fake fixture to be able to mount those on top. And then they should be able to come off and on really quickly. I'm trying to figure out, see here how we got the Airlines? Kind of hard mounted to the back magic. I mean, we could just disconnect them every time we want to take the pallet off, but it tears up the hoses a little bit. Based on YouTube comments, I did get this airbrush quick disconnect, which I'm relatively happy with, but it's kind of, I don't know how good it is. And I think the fittings are not NPT, they're like BSPT or something. So that makes it a little tricky. But they might work if I put these here. So the much better, cooler version of this cheap one I got on Amazon, go back to my car roots and I go to summitracing.com. They have these fuel fittings that are for fuel or air or whatever that are really nicely made. They're actually made, I think, in New York or Pennsylvania. Basically just a nicer version of that. And apparently they seal, so when you take it apart, they don't flow through. So they have a valve inside that is off. That means no stuff is gonna go inside of it when you're disconnected. These are amazing. The downside is they're $35 each, and I need like 6 of them or 7 of them. So it's starting to look like $150, $200 just to give me some Airline fittings. That part doesn't excite me too much. So I'm on the fence if I spend like a lot of money and get a really good solution, or if I just do this, or if I just keep using the hose, tear it up, snip it, fix it, put it back. I mean, the hose is so cheap. So realistically, I'm probably just gonna go with the hose route, let it tear up. And then if I'm feeling really rich one day, I'll get some of these. So Erin just asked me a really good question. She said, so if I wasn't here, what's the next thing you would be doing? I'm like, that's a great question. Okay, so what I wanna do is I've tested the code, but I wanna actually run the code and not, put all my eggs in one basket. But I want to be able to run the code, make sure that it actually works in real life. So I'm going to move this fixture over to this side, which I think I got to back this guy off a bit. No, maybe not. It's tight. Because we never use this vise. Not every day like we're using this one. So this one's probably ever so slightly worn in these holes. It's funny because here's like a perfect example of why you don't over constrain something. Using 4 pins will over constrain this dimensional tolerance, which causes people to use stupid things like a screwdriver to go in there and pry it up, and then you're denting both surfaces. It's not a great thing. Interesting. Amish's new fixtures with the pins fit great on both pallets. This one's just really tight. So my theory is if I remove one of these guys it should work better. Oh yeah. Better. So, it's a good example. Here's a part that I made to a tolerance that I made up, to a fixture that I made to a tolerance that I made up, which has to go to an orange vise with a tolerance that Eric made up. So he's making those holes to whatever it is, and I have to make pins that fit with enough clearance based on my tolerential ability between the four, to fit between multiple different vices, to fit between multiple different years of production. And yeah, this guy just fits like a perfect slip fit in the holes. And that's asking a lot. It's actually a bit of a spring, like an air cushion, but it's asking a lot for everything to line up perfectly. So I have these in different sizes, because when I made them, I had to hold them to a certain tolerance. And this one happens to be 4993. So I think I have some 4992s, some 4991s. Maybe I'll put some of those in. So this other one is already 2/10 under. And this third one is 4995. Maybe I gotta get rid of this big one, that's the problem. It works fine in the other fixture because we've been using this fixture for this number 2 fixture like for 3 years for everyday production. This one has only ever had vice jaws on it, so we hardly ever use those pins, so they haven't really worn in that few tenths. So I made all these guys quite a while ago. I don't even remember, like 9 months, 10 months ago. So now I just got to find through and find one that is 4992 maybe? 2, perfect. Well, you go in there. You didn't see that. I dented the thread when I dropped it. Bad, John. That's real, man, that's reality. And then that one. So I wonder if it'll fit with all 4 now. Everyone being on the smaller side. Maybe I'll find another small one. There we go. I mean, we're talking about 2/10 here. It's a tolerance that it's tight, especially considering the stack up of all of these. Let's try that. Still tight, but better, much better. Yeah, maybe I'll just go down to 2 pins. I'm gonna pull my back out doing this. So now I'm gonna do an actual test with the one on the other side, which I've never done before. We've got a GoPro going with time lapse. I just gotta check all my settings, make sure I'm going right, and then watch it. Cross our fingers. I will narrate while we're doing it. So, checking to see if a pallet is there. Yes, there's a pallet there. Now it should check X, Y, Z. Z again for height. Now X. And then Y. This is one of the last things I want to clean up. I want to make this a little bit faster. But it works, so just let it work, right? So now it should come up. Move to the next one. Look for a pallet. No, it shouldn't have done that. It should have known that there's no pallet there and then not continued, not gone forward. It tried to do an XYZ probe. So I just got to move some logic around to skip. Once it says there's no pallet, skip ahead. So close, so close. So after poring over the code for quite a while and just trying to figure out where to swap some lines of logic, I was able to find the piece of code that I needed so that it just probes in Z and then skips the XYZ probe. It wasn't that hard, but until you see it, it's confusing. So you just kind of got to keep going at it and looking like that. Try, test, fail, try, test, fail, again and again and again. That's how you do it. So in the next scene, I'm going to show you guys a probing routine that we've been doing for quite a long time, and it has helped us make our knives very, very, very consistent. So here we have a neat little routine that I came up with probably almost 3 years ago. So I'm putting in these very fancy ceramic detent balls into these pre-drilled holes. So the first operation is we spot the hole and then drill the hole and then chamfer the top of that hole. You can just see the chamfer glinting at you. And then I have to manually pause the machine, or automatically pause, open the door, put the balls in, which I just did, and then I hit cycle start, and it's going to go through this sweet routine that uses the Renishaw touch probe. The first thing it's going to do is it measures the actual surface of the handle. I don't care how thick it is at this point, I just want to know where the zero is of that surface. And then it goes in and it measures the handle, the second handle, because there's two knives happening right now. So at this point I have a surface, a Z surface of the handle, because the way that the detent ball works, it has to stick up an exact certain amount, and we love the consistency that we're getting from this method. So what I have here is a upside down drill bit, a high-speed steel drill bit with a little dimple machined in the back that's gently spinning, and it comes down and it presses the ball halfway down, not all the way. So then the probe comes back. The probe is actually measuring the surface of the ball right now. It's touching the tippy top of that ball, of the first handle, and then the press comes back in, and now it's going to do a full press, because now we have a handle surface and a ball half-pressed surface, and we can math the distance between them, and then now this tool can come in and press in exactly the depth that I want to my magic number based on math. It has been an utterly reliable operation for us. It took, I think, a day and a half straight for me to figure this out, but it's been amazing. So it half pressed that ball. Now it's now it's probing the surface of that ball, and then it's going to come in and full press it. So as you can see from the code, this is November 2018. We're into January 2019. I have completely rewritten and optimized this code so it doesn't lift up, it doesn't tool change as much. It's much, much, much faster for the multi-pallet system that we're working on. And it's even sweeter now, but we ran this system for years and it's been epic. I think at this point it's just measuring the final ball height and putting that measured height into a variable so that I can read it and store it for later. And then after that, it moves on. I think I'm going to show you the variable. Am I going to show it to you? There it is, 10 something. Yep. No, I can't show that. That's top secret. Blur it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys. Thanks for watching part 3 of our Fixture Friday series. I hope you really, really liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.